Good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matusegawa and it's time to talk about the Uganda film industry. And in studio I have Miss Njoki Muhoho, who is a chief jury of the Uganda Film Festival 2024, and Andrew Ahuura, a friend and also a jury on the film festival. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you for
Miss
having us.
Njoki, I would like to say I like your hair.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It looks very...
I think if we kept naturally the way our hair was, it just grew naturally. So this is natural. So thank you so much.
How long have you done this for?
4 years.
4 years?
It's the 5th year. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Looks
yes.
nice.
Thank you so much.
Miss Njoki, I'll start with you.
Yes.
The Uganda Film Festival, you are a jury on it.
Yes.
What does a jury do on such a festival? What's your role?
All right. This is the second year where I've been requested by UCC and UFF to be chief juror. So my job as a chief juror has two roles: is to ensure, first of all, is to manage a team of several jurors from different countries, from different corners of the world. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Two is to make sure there is a foolproof methodology on how we rate and score the films. Yeah. So, and this has to go by international standards, so that there is fairness, and also implementing the UCC/UFF vision of having Ugandan films for global impact. Like, think local, but act international. Yes. So my job is to make sure my team of jurors agree on this, and most important, that I make sure that they have the opportunity to bring in their wealth of experience. So even if at times the wealth of experience comes from different directions, bring it together to bring value to the development of Uganda film industry.
And how, so far, have you found the quality of our films in Uganda? I know you're Kenyan, so how do you find our industry and the quality of films that we put out?
All right. Let me first talk as an East African. Our different East African countries, even if I say Greater East Africa, which means instead of 3 countries, there'll be 6 or 7. We are all at different levels of growth in the film industry. The question is, how fast is each country growing? And it's not just the skills of the filmmakers. It's also the training institutions. It is also the national policies that make or do not make the environment conducive for filmmaking. I was a jury the year before. I was a chief jury the year before last. And when I compare what I saw 2 years ago and what I see now, I'm not caressing the ego of Ugandan filmmakers. I'm saying the truth. I have seen marked improvement.
Indeed.
So the industry is growing. I'm very positive and happy about it. And if we keep at this trajectory, it will even get better and better.
And better. An applause to the Ugandan filmmaker. Indeed. Andrew, what's your specialty as a member of the jury?
So I'm a jury. That means I'm supposed to look at the different movies and make sure that they represent what the country is supposed to be putting out there. So, and in all fairness, as our chief juror said, and so my job is simple: just make sure that it's fair and that you have really matched the quality to international standards. And so we're looking at different things: editing, production, we're looking at acting, and the different things. So my role was just to make sure that we get the best quality of films and award them, make sure they are properly awarded, and that there is, it encourages the next filmmaker. By trade or by practice, I'm an audio engineer by profession, and also I was, not to say biased, but I was really also looking out to hear how the sound aspects in the films that have been submitted to the UFF as sounding, and have we had improvement? And to be honest, there's quite an improvement because of the efforts the Commission has put out in training and equipping different producers, different stakeholders, to help them come up with better quality that's competitive globally. Because, you know, the theme is we have to export. We have to be able to take what we do. We're not doing these movies just for this market. We're doing these movies to export what we have internationally. So we have to be thorough in terms of saying, is this what you want the rest of the world to know about your country? Yeah.
Is there a particular theme that you've been under this year?
Yes, global films, local films, global impact. And what that really means is we want to be able to see how are we able to tell our stories in the African lens, in the Ugandan lens, and make sure that we can impact, which funnily enough, ties in with our company. Our company is Quad A. Quad A is a post-production facility that offers audio solutions to multiple industries. But our mission is to rebrand Africa through sound. And rebranding means you're changing how people perceive, how people think about Africa. Sure. Now, when you're saying local films to have global impact, you're literally saying, how do we make sure we transform the perception of Uganda? How do we transform how people think about Uganda and Africa as a whole? And how do you do that? Through film and using the content. So it has to be competitive at an international standard.
Ms. Njoki, I'll come back to you.
Yes.
The judging process, I assume it has taken a while.
Yes.
Can you take us through the process of submission? How many films did you receive? What criterias? And for those filmmakers that probably are skeptic and they're feeling maybe there is some non-partisan...
Okay. All right. Okay. First of all, in every jury process, and I get involved in quite a number of film awards jury work. Yes. And the season of UFF, it's also the season for the international Emmys. And I'm also a juror for the international Emmys. Yes. And I've been involved in other Pan-African and international jury process. So let me first answer, what is the jury process all about? The different institutions that run the festivals would send out document to the filmmakers, like, these are the kind of content we are looking for, and these are the conditions of entry. Yes. Okay, so they might say, we have documentaries, some would say short documentaries or feature documentaries. And they would say, short documentary is 30 minutes or less. Feature must be 45 minutes and above, or 60 minutes and above. Then they'll say short film is any fictional work that is up to maximum so many minutes. Feature film is, so each festival, each institution would do their rules. But those rules is an international level of this. So the jury process involves everybody is free to submit. There are those who like serial job applicants who have this CV and this application letter, and they send it left, right, center, and hope they'll hit the mark. So the jury process is, first there is the cleaning up. Somebody or several people are going to sit and say, we ask for feature film to be 60 films. So if you have 60 minutes minimum, if you have entered in the category of feature, do you have the 60 minutes? So there is that screening. So yes, we can tell some Ugandans, anybody who did not conform to that document that UFF sent out, those are even removed. We, the jury, never get to see, because you didn't fulfill the basic prerequisites. Then you usually have a team of jury, And then the best way is to divide them into smaller panels. So that you say, this panel, look at the documentary, the short film, the student's film. This panel, look at this, 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 this. Each person sits individually and scores. Yeah. So chances are, Ahuura will be listening more to sound like more than anything else. He might say, good cinematography, good picture, but the sound is bad.
Terrible.
For me, I'll be looking at from the producer's perspective, from the writer's perspective, from the international acceptability perspective. So each person must go from where they are coming from. So what I do as chief jury, I'll give you a schedule and I tell you, I want you to give me your scores by this time. And I'll do the templates as well. So when the scores come in, I look at them, might you have missed anything? Did you give very, very unusually high scores or very unusually low scores there? So I even call you individual and say, mistake or what's happening here? Then we get together, all of us, regardless to whether that category was yours or not. So we present the score to the whole panel, and then the other people who didn't score that particular production acts as a quality control. Yeah. Then eventually what we present to the client has been agreed on by every individual juror. That's usually the toughest session. Yeah. Yes.
And it has to be tough.
It is.
So many filmmakers are relying on this to either ricochet their career in film. Yes. But Andrew, I'll come back to you. And we have had nominees that have been put out. Is that a job of the jury?
Yes. We have to. So from the rigorous process of screening, after screening, you get into the session of her compiling the list, and then we always come up with the first list of nominees, the best nominees. There are some people, I don't know how much we're supposed to give out at this point, but there are people who are close to each other. But I mean, we had a very tough time this time around. Yes. People are like this. This film looks good, this other one looks good, and you have people who, you saw the works before, and now they have put in lots of efforts to make it look much better. So, you still give it to them. You say, we see the effort. So they become nominees. And after the nominees, then we go into making sure that we can look for a winner, which is one of the hardest.
It's hard.
Like, who wins this category? Yes. We went back and forth. It took us a lot of time. Yeah. Back and forth. No, this person, and but I think, so everyone kept on making their case. No, I think this, we agree, you know. Yeah. And by the end of the process, making the nominees and coming up with a winner, it just shows you, as she said, the industry has grown and is growing. And this is very good. It shows that now we can stand with the big boys and say and offer some things that we have, offer our stories and offer our talent to the rest of the world.
Maybe I can add something to that. You know, when you go through the first round, of course you end up with people with titles, let me call them titles, ranked, So if it's documentary, you can see who was number 1, 2, 3, after you add all the individual jury scores. Then when you get to phase 2, you take your top 5 or 6 or 8. Incidentally, let me explain why some were just 5 nominees, but some went to 6, 7, and 8. It's when you have ties. When you have ties.
Exactly.
When you have ties.
Because they're close.
And we are not here. The festival, the awards is supposed to encourage the filmmaker, not penalize the filmmaker. So even if UFF has said, told me as chief jury, let us have top 5 in every category. If there are 2, 3 ties, I will go up to number 8. Because there are still 5 according to the scores. You see what I mean? Then when we get to the next phase, it is like the races. I come from a country of runners, so I can use that. When you do your first hits, and you take the first number 1, 2, 3. When you go to the next hit, you zero rate everybody. You are starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
Now compete afresh. That's why the discussions among the jury are so heated. Because these 5, or whether they're 5 or 7, now we've put them all together and given them 0 points. Now we start scoring again. Now you can see where it gets tougher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ms. Njoki, I'll stay with you.
Yes.
Apart from the recognition that comes with the awards and all, what do you feel, or what do you think such a festival and such a program is going to have an impact on the film industry as a whole, but also the filmmaker as a person? What do you hope to achieve with such programs?
There are 2 things. Why do people hold festivals? One, the country is recognizing. Remember, the festival is run by the government. It's a government arm. The country is actually sending a message out there loud and clear. Film is a product for export, for employment, for improving the living standards of especially the youth in the country. So it's a national statement, okay? So that's one. The second one is, by having the festivals, you are also branding your country internationally. When Kenya tourism hit the world, I was a kid. No, I wasn't a kid. I think I was in college. I was in college. Do you know what did that? It was a movie Out of Africa. It won an Oscar. And then tourists were just curious, and they were coming to this beautiful country. The same way, it could be the Ugandan coffee you've used there, the fish, the culture, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the people, the language. And all that will bring in people.
Well, we are running out of time, but this is such an interesting conversation. And I'll stay with you, Ms. Njoki, for our last word. The film festival, when is it? When is the gala? What do we expect?
Okay. The months and months of work culminates tonight, this evening, when the jury and UCC UFF are going to award the best among the best. However, everybody who submitted a title into the festival is a winner, and I clap for them. But even among the winners, there are those who are more winners than the others, and we want that natural and fair competition to keep going throughout the year, so that by UFF 2025, those who won are going to be beaten by new people. So the scale goes higher and higher.
Progress every year. Andrew, in 30 seconds, what should we expect at the gala?
I think you should expect greatness. You're going to see people with passion, people who love to make films, passionate people, passionate Ugandans. Ugandans who are not settling for less. Ugandans who are really working hard to compete internationally. And we're going to see people who are awarded, and those awards are going to be an endorsement. An endorsement. And that's what we should expect.
Well, but I'll still 15 seconds. I insist on this. Tonight, during the gala, we're going to see Uganda creative economy. The fashion, the music, the decorations, the designs of it is creative economy.
It's a business.
Indeed. You as a filmmaker who's been watching us, you know where to be tonight. And go to our social media platforms, that is on Facebook, Twitter, which is now X, or YouTube. Look out for NTV Uganda and use the hashtag #MorningAtNTV, or contact me at Idris Matu Segawa and tell me what do you want to see on the show. But for those who have been nominated, good luck, and I hope you are a winner tonight. But as Ms. Njoki said, even if you don't win the award, you are still a winner. Good morning and see you next week.